Mr. Glass is back. Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 5 things you need to remember before watching Glass. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we'll be looking back at all the things you should remember from Split and Unbreakable before watching Glass. If you haven't seen the previous 2 installments, be warned, there will be plenty of spoilers ahead. Number 5, the plot of Unbreakable.
Why are you looking at me like that? Your train derailed.
First off, let's remind ourselves of where it all began. Mr. Glass first appeared in Unbreakable, a film centered around David Dunn, a man who discovers he is invincible after being the sole survivor of a tragic train wreck. Dunn meets Glass, who is posing as Elijah Price, and who becomes a superhero mentor to Dunn. Oddly, the two are opposites. Where David has uncanny strength and an unbreakable body, Elijah is frail with brittle bones that break easily. This should have been the tip-off for David that Elijah was actually a supervillain committing the heinous acts that caused David to realize his invincibility. As Elijah himself says, that's how you can tell who the villain is. He's the exact opposite of the hero, and they're usually friends, just like them. And with that, Mr. Glass was born.
You know how you can tell who the arch-villain's going to be? He's the exact opposite of the hero.
Number 4, the plot of Split.
We are what we believe we are.
Split being a sequel to Unbreakable was actually something of a Shyamalan surprise, but it's required knowledge before heading into Glass. The central character of Split, Kevin Wendell Crumb, is compared to the villainy of the infamous Mr. Glass. Kevin has multiple personalities, collectively nicknamed the Horde. Kevin's basic personality is pretty docile, but he is at war with the other wicked personalities inside him. The worst of these is the Beast, who has superhuman abilities and wants to kill those it deems untouched or free of torment, and kidnaps Casey Cook, among others. We can expect David from Unbreakable and Kevin and Casey from Split to return in Glass.
Rejoice.
Number 3, the main character's powers and weaknesses. All superheroes and supervillains have their special powers and weaknesses, and these characters are no different. Let's start with David Dunn. He is a kind of general Superman, super strength, and is all around unbreakable, but he can also see people's bad acts by touching them. You might think that his invincibility leaves him with no weaknesses, but his denser bones make him unable to float in water, and he's also scared of water due to a childhood drowning incident. Next, there's Kevin, who is pretty weak-willed and is easily manipulated by his other personalities, but his Beast personality is super strong and super fast. Lastly, there's Elijah Price, who may be physically weak because of his fragile bones, but is a brilliant mastermind. And his knowledge of comic books gives him an upper hand on David Dunn.
It's all right to be afraid, David, because this part won't be like a comic book.
Number 2, Casey Cook.
Have you seen him? The Beast?
As mentioned, Kevin kidnaps Casey Cook in Split, but he does so to sacrifice her to the Beast. However, he lets Casey live after seeing her scars from her past physical and sexual abuse, with the realization that she too has been traumatized. He also makes a comment that she's more evolved than others. Could that mean she has superpowers of her own that have yet to manifest?
The broken are the more evolved.
She does have all the telltale signs of a superhero on the rise, and like Marvel heroes like Peter Parker, Bruce Banner, and Sue Storm, or even this universe's David Dunn, she has an alliterative name. Additionally, she has a deceased parent, an ever-popular fixture in superhero backstories. Number 1, it will be a supervillain team-up.
It's amazing to meet you.
From what can be seen in the trailers for Glass, David, Elijah, and Kevin are all being examined by a psychiatrist who specializes in people who believe they are superheroes. Could this possibly be the same hospital for the criminally insane where Elijah was sent at the end of Unbreakable? It's an interesting thought, but the much more compelling reveal we see in the trailer is that it looks like Mr. Glass and the Horde will be teaming up as bad guys to reveal heroes and villains to the world.
That sounds like the bad guys teaming up.
With Mr. Glass's evil genius and the Horde's beastly ways, David Dunn certainly has his work cut out for him. There are obviously still many questions that won't be answered until Glass comes out, but knowing that these two treacherous villains will be working together definitely gives us something to be excited about in the meantime.
What have you done, Elijah?
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.